We're live already?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on. Check us out. Come on in.
Comfortable when he does that, George.
Yeah.
No comment.
All right. Come on in. Welcome, my friends, to the Bob and Brad podcast, produced by Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists.
Podcast?
This is a podcast.
It is.
It's going to be a podcast. Yes, I got interrupted.
Just get that stuff here.
Produced by Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. In our opinion, of course, I am Bob. I am exactly one half of the Bob and Brad team. And I am joined today by somebody considerably more attractive than Brad. That doesn't take much. Oh, here comes Brad.
Oh, come on.
Jordan, and she is a nutrition coach. Why don't you talk about it? You got a master's degree, correct?
I did. Yep. I have my master's degree I have my bachelor's degree in exercise science. I've got the fitness stuff, but then I decided to go back to school and I got my master's degree in nutrition, specifically human nutrition. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to take questions today on nutrition. I suppose you could do fitness too, but it's really hard to demonstrate fitness today. So,
Yes.
so I'm saying hello to Victoria, hello to Kimberly from Ohio. Let's see. They enjoy your exercise videos.
Oh, good.
So yeah, she does a great
More
job.
to
You
come.
should check out her videos. They're fantastic. So, best foods for lowering anxiety.
Oh, best foods for lowering anxiety. To me, that comes down when it comes to choosing foods for, we'll just call it mind health at that. As it relates to anxiety, that just comes to, we could have just general conversation about a healthy diet if you ask me.
I think that's exactly it. I think if you eat more plant-based and more non-processed food, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the sugary,
Yes.
sugary processed foods, which cause massive spikes in our
Yes.
blood sugar levels that cause instability with our mood, would all be linked to, anxiety and any mood disorders for that. So
Right.
a simple, healthy diet, avoiding the junk is,
I'd start with the sugars. That's
Yeah.
definitely, and I've seen studies on that. If you lower the amount of processed sugars in your diet, it's definitely going to help with anxiety. So let's see. Someone's talking about grits. Is it healthy? I just had a bowl this morning. Added cinnamon, maple syrup, and green powder.
I'm not from the South.
She doesn't know grits. She's not from the South.
Is grits like the corn?
Is it,
that
Brad?
corn?
Just in
Listen-
Florida, and I had some grits.
I know, listen to us,
I
we don't
didn't
do
order
grits up here.
because I don't do grits. I would, I
Yeah.
just didn't.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can help you with this one if you don't know the answer.
Okay.
Please tell me about insulin resistance and PCOS with relation to nutrition. So
Okay.
my daughter has this.
Okay.
It's polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yep.
And we just had Dr. Westman on, who is a big proponent of the keto diet, and they put their people, any clients with PCOS on the keto diet, and they have 100% effectiveness in it helps that.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know on the keto diet. I knew, again, back to our same conversation of making sure to get rid of the
Junk.
processed foods, the
Right.
sugar, all of that causing that instability in your blood sugar levels has a huge
Sure.
impact on PCOS. But I didn't know keto diet. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So, okay, let's see. What? Let's see. Jordan, how many meals a day is a good diet?
Okay, so my take on this is nutrition's individualized. So for me to just say a flat out number it's hard because it really depends upon yourself, your lifestyle, all of that. But I typically think general rule of thumb to keep blood sugar levels stable every 3 to 4 hours. Eating a meal, so it kind of depends upon your sleep schedule and all of that. But me personally, I typically eat my first meal hour or two after I'm awake. It kind of depends upon the day. And then every, maybe 4 hours or so to make sure that you never get to a point where you're just like so hungry that you start to make poor food choices. That's
Sure.
usually my general rule of
That's a
thumb.
That's a good.
Yeah, you
point.
want to be hungry. You don't want to just eat to eat, but also not letting yourself get to the point of you're so hungry that you make those dumb
So
choices.
we mentioned keto, and somebody's asking about keto. What do you think about it? So we'll talk about the keto diet.
Okay. So what was the question?
What do you think about it?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it's fine I don't have anything against the keto diet. I have a lot of things against the word diet. So
Sure.
we could go in that realm of things. I just think diet's a very temporary word. My approach as a nutrition coach is really teaching people how to eat and sustain something for the rest of their lives. That's my approach on things.
So it's a lifestyle choice, basically.
Right. And I just don't think anything that's restrictive can be maintained forever. That's my personal opinion on it with
Very good
dealing
point.
with clients and everything. Now, if somebody has a certain condition like PCOS or a certain health condition that they are trying to alleviate, I think keto diet can be a very powerful tool. But for just the general population, like the classic weight loss client, because there's plenty of those that I come across, that doesn't tend to be what I coach, because I just find it to be like a temporary thing
Sure.
to do.
Because
So,
they have trouble adhering to the diet,
yes,
basically.
right.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of tracking and counting, and I don't get into that. So,
Sure.
Yep.
Someone asking about what's a good anti-inflammatory diet.
Gosh, one that I feel like we're going to be repeating
Yeah,
a lot. but,
exactly. I know where you're going with this.
I know inflammation is linked to our processed foods, our
Yeah.
processed sugars. There's a lot of research out there in connection with inflammation and actually wheat and gluten and grains. So somebody who does have any sort of inflammatory disease or issue should really do their best to avoid grains, in my opinion.
Sure.
So.
Do you have any questions, Tanner?
Not yet.
Not yet. He's on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, give us your questions. Eppin, I can't read the name. I can't drink raw milk, but I'm okay with milk in hot drinks. Why is that? I don't know who to really answer that one. Sorry. Any advice for weight gain plateau for an athlete?
To me, that comes down to a simple equation of calories in, calories out to
Sure.
an extent. I think ensuring that you're getting enough protein is number one. And beyond that, with you being more active, like you might have to do, like I just said in my last breath, I'm not into tracking things, but for something like that, you might have to track for a period of time to ensure that your caloric intake is exceeding your output.
Am I right in saying it seems like a lot of people, they work out and they think, well, I worked out, now I can eat more.
Mhm.
And that may not be the case.
Not always, but for the athlete.
That's right. Can you read that? You can say the name.
Amanda, what are really good high iron foods that aren't meats? So this gets tough because there's, I don't know if you have some intake on this too or some input, but
isn't spinach?
Iron. It is. The trouble that I was going to say, when you're not getting iron from meat, it's comes from a source that's not as well absorbed by the body. So, spinach is a really good source. You can get it in, your leafy green vegetables, but absorbability of it is very low.
It's funny, pretty common in runners, and you actually lose it to your feet. But
interesting.
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes at some point you have to actually use the supplements or whatever.
At that rate, if you're trying to rely solely on plant-based sources of iron, that gets to be tough. One thing I can say with iron, this is maybe a side tangent, but can be helpful, especially if you're doing those sources that aren't as well absorbed. Vitamin C can help with iron absorption.
Yeah, so somebody says cook an iron skillet, and that's true.
Yeah,
yep,
very
absolutely.
True. I thought about that. Cast iron.
What about an alkaline diet? Anything on here that you have?
I know of it. Oh, I can answer that one.
Why don't you take that
Alkaline,
one?
yeah.
Sorry, alkaline. We're going to pass on that one.
Is a collagen supplement effective and healthy for joint pain and anti-inflammatory? So I personally, I'm assuming that person is maybe speaking to collagen powder potentially. I know you can buy collagen in capsules too. I think more commonly on the market now. Collagen comes in a powder form. Yeah, I do feel that there's some really great research to support it. I have worked with people who have had really good benefits from it. My big word of advice for the individual who asked that or anybody who else is curious about it is to give it a try, and you have to stay consistent with something like that to determine if that's going to be helpful for you. Kind of a very dull answer to the question, but I would say with that, it's certainly worth a try. Usually something like collagen is going to take several weeks to build up in your system, so you're not going to notice after 3 days of supplementation if it's going to help with something like that. Collagen is another thing like iron that needs vitamin C for absorption. So if you're going to spend the money on a collagen supplement, make sure that you're doing it when you're eating a good serving of fruits or vegetables or your daily multivitamin or something that has vitamin C in it.
Jordan, we're getting quite a few questions on fasting.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
fasting. You know, when you were talking about how many meals a day and spreading out, but there are people that do the fasting basically from evening on, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to talk about fasting.
Sure. Yeah. So there's lots of ways that you can do fasting, as Bob was mentioning, but so I think there's a ton of benefit in letting our body recover. So constantly all day long we're feeding and our body is having to go through the whole digestive process, and that can interfere with a lot of other like healing processes in our body. So I think it's a great thing to quote unquote give your body a break from having to digest food all the time. So I think everybody at a bare minimum can benefit from at least a 12-hour fast every single day. So, that's bare minimum. I'm not talking about necessarily more extreme like intermittent fasting, but making sure that you're not snacking all night until 10 o'clock and then getting up at 6 and eating again. Your body hardly gets a break. So I think just about everybody can benefit from some degree of fasting. There are some great studies to show a greater degree of fasting. So maybe fasting for more like 15 to 18 hours can provide some great benefits for weight loss. And a lot of research is being done too on the effects of like prevention of different mental diseases later in life too.
So
without
12 hours isn't that difficult.
No,
you stop eating at 6 and well, you won't even eat at 6 o'clock in the
No.
morning probably. So,
but there are people that
Okay,
do
well,
need to put some honest effort into that. I
Sure.
would say my general word of advice: everybody should at least do that. Oh, how do you feel about Weight Watchers? Oh, this is going to go back to my same thing I said before. I don't love anything that's temporary. That's just not how I practice nutrition. That's not how I teach nutrition. You're probably not going to pay for a Weight Watchers subscription for the rest of your life. My other, I guess, dirt I have on Weight Watchers without I hate bashing things that
Right.
are trying to create mindfulness around
Yeah.
food, nutrition, or healthy lifestyle. So without me, I don't want this to come across as a bash, but as with Weight Watchers, a lot of things, as long as it fits within your points, it's okay. And I don't
Right.
love that. I'm into food quality, and I will always preach that way over calories any day of the week.
sure. Here's Mike. What is a good food to stop Charlie horses?
Bananas,
Yeah,
water, a lot of water.
that's what
Making sure you're
I.
not dehydrated.
Yeah, we had actually done a video on that. It was most people were dehydrated.
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
and that's why you see football players and stuff get. So you really want to make sure you're taking enough water and yeah, potassium. So,
Yeah. Okay, Justin, how does intermittent fasting and GERD work? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure that GERD have anything to do with fasting. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know any relation with that
yeah, I don't
necessarily.
either. So let's see. Is eating commercially bagged salad with all the fixings as healthy as buying elements and putting it together yourself?
Absolutely not. No,
Oh,
I would.
that's a good thing that you.
Yeah, I would.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. So I'm assuming they're talking about all the like bagged salads that you have, like your, gosh, I can't even. I know what they're talking about. It comes with like the little packets that have maybe like the nuts or seeds and dried fruit or cheese or this or that, and then it comes with dressing. Here's the problem with those. Is it's the dressing. If you go and read, because I have picked those up on a whim when I'm in a hurry or to take somewhere for dinner, because it's quick and easy and convenient. If you go and read those salad dressing ingredients, first of all, it's going to be about 25 ingredients long. Probably the first oil in it is going to be something like soybean oil, which I don't promote. So it's not so much for like what's in it other than the salad itself is fine, but the dressing,
they're trying to preserve it too, right?
Yeah, I would leave those on the shelf. They're expensive and you're going to get a lot better quality product just putting your own together. So,
sure.
Yep.
Somebody, we got one.
Nothing crazy.
Is carbonation bad, like flavored waters?
I have no issue with flavored waters or carbonation.
The only thing I have is you have to wash with your teeth, I guess. It can be a little bit harmful on your teeth if you use carbonation all the time.
Maybe like excessive amounts,
yeah,
but a can or two of LaCroix water a day, I don't think
absolutely.
is gonna. If you're doing a can or two of LaCroix water a day and eating 100 grams of sugar, that could be bad for your teeth enamel. But a normal healthy diet with a couple of cans of flavored water, I think, is totally fine. Okay. With the plethora of protein shakes, protein bars, and other protein supplements, can we overdo?
This is from Justin. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, that's a good question. And you can put your input on this too, but I would say, yeah, we can overdo it. I think we can get ample amounts of protein in our diet just by eating a normal, healthy, whole foods diet, without ever honestly even needing to supplement with protein shakes or powders. I think it's a really expensive way to do it, and there's a lot of poor quality ones on the market. So that's not even something that I tend to promote a ton of.
Yeah, you got to be real careful because that's the key. Is a lot of them aren't very clean, and what to do. What is your consensus on meat? I'll let you read the question.
Okay, what's your consensus on meat? On one hand, studies say it's the best source of protein, iron, B12, etc. On the other hand, there's studies that meat consumption is raising our cholesterol levels.
That's Wellington. Thank you, Wellington.
Yeah, I love that question, and I have a whole lot of passion within this topic. Some people won't like my answer, but that's okay too. So I'll just be honest with what I personally believe with research I've done, books I've read, people I've worked with, things I've experimented with myself. I'm a big avid meat proponent. Now, like he mentioned at the beginning, that we, eating more plant-based, meaning, half of your plate should still be spanning or more full of vegetables. And that's what my diet looks like. But I always include a good quality meat source. So here's my issue with, you can stop me because sometimes I get really excited about this topic.
Go to it.
Because veganism and meat, I don't ever promote that. But here's the issue with a lot of research and studies and things that you find on, meat can really raise cholesterol or all the other ill effects of meat. Nobody ever talks about quality, how an animal was raised, ever. In research, it's just not. It's not talked about. So meat is not all created equally. And I guess without going on too much of a side tangent here, my big take home, it's a great powerhouse chock full of nutrients if you're being careful of how the animal was raised, how it was sourced. That's
and you're absolutely right. The old studies, from what I've seen, studies, it's all been turkeys and chicken with antibiotics and plumb full of drugs and to pump them up big. And that's what you're seeing, I think, is the results of that. And so it's not a clean study. So,
and nutrition research too it's a tough one. And it's some of these studies that you might be referring to or have seen on the ill effects of meat. They're not isolating meat in the diet. Like, what else are these meat eaters doing? Are they smoking? Are they sitting on their butts? Are they eating, a bag of potato chips before they go to bed? So not a whole lot of.
Some of them are self-reporting,
right?
So which is very difficult. So, that's a good one. How many cups of water should you take in? This is Antonis. How many cups of water should you take in as an athlete?
So in terms of water consumption, and you can dial in on this too if you have more knowledge than me, but I think that's totally dependent upon your body weight. I should not drink the same amount of water as Bob should drink in a day. I don't weigh as much as he does. So I think typically like somebody who's going to be sweating like an ounce for every pound you weigh.
And also the environment.
Or half of
completely
your body
plays-
weight in ounces. Sorry,
Right.
half of it.
But also, if it's hot out, you're going to
Yeah.
drink more. I mean, really a simple test is to drink a glass of water, and if you end up going to the bathroom fairly soon after, you've probably had enough already in your body. But if
Right.
you drink a glass of water and you don't go to the bathroom for hours,
Yeah,
Yeah.
urine color too.
yeah, exactly.
Your body will
Yeah.
tell you.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to ask a question because a lot of people are asking this, and I want to know the answer to this because I really don't. Where's the current stance on eggs? I mean,
Oh, eat them. Eat the yolks.
can
eat
you
the eggs.
can you eat them every day?
Yes. Yes.
I'm
So
glad to hear that because I'm eating them every day right now.
I work in an industry where we definitely promote kind of how I've been talking already, but eggs are a-okay and fine. Eat the yolks. And
But
I know
organic or not?
I'm an organic person,
Yeah,
so yes,
I do.
I think
I do
quality.
the same.
But I know a guy who eats religiously for the last 10 years of his life, 6 entire whole eggs a day. Just got all of his numbers checked, like couldn't be more perfect. So there's just like a real life example. I know that's one,
Right.
but I don't believe in the whole myth that eating eggs is going to cause this massive rise in your diet or in your actual blood cholesterol. So
No, Marcelo
eggs.
says eggs are super.
they sure are. I couldn't agree more. Superfood.
Uh,
Don't throw the egg yolks away. It's a waste.
Jimmy Hernandez, best way to gain weight fast.
Ooh.
Sports.
Eat more food.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. I know, like a lot of
Yeah.
weightlifters. Mike could speak to this, but
A lot of guys drink milk when they're trying to bulk up fast.
a lot of guys drink milk. Mike said when they try to bulk up fast. But I know a lot of them that they have to actually wake up in the middle of the night and eat something.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to eat all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if
Constant.
it's lean foods you have to force.
Yeah, it's just
The amount of food, that you actually have to eat is it's way more than you probably think it is.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't want to eat that much. I mean, it gets to that point. Believe it or not, I know that's not a problem for most people, but if you're a bodybuilder or a weight trainer, I mean, you could end up
You're
in
eating whole food that's hard to overeat.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Is natural spring water best over distilled? That's, I think yes, if you can have a good source of it. The issue with distilled water is everything is stripped out of it.
Yeah, everything's taken out of it.
So if you're going to drink distilled water, you're going to have to replenish it with minerals.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think we were just having this conversation recently, but I drink reverse osmosis water at home. I have a filter because I'm just not a huge fan of like the regular tap water, at least where I live. And I actually remineralize it because it does strip clean. And that's kind of the similar process of distillation too. So.
Well, someone was talking about flaxseed. But
Yeah, but they didn't really have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
You want to talk about the benefits of flaxseed?
How about this one? Oh, no, there is.
Diet for fibromyalgia.
Sure. You want to take that one?
Diet for fibromyalgia.
Yeah. So we have a question: diet for fibromyalgia. I know what she's going to say already.
Here, I'll name the things you should eat because we haven't really I've kind of touched on how I believe in nutrition, but diet for fibromyalgia. Get rid of the processed foods first and foremost.
Yes.
If you can do nothing else besides that, get rid of the sugar and processed grains. Okay. Outside of that, good quality sourced meat, lots of vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, good quality oils. Trying to get rid of the processed oils like soybean oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. Focusing on good quality ones, avocados, or avocado oil, olive oil. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Bye.
I think we had a lady on the show who had rheumatoid arthritis and extreme inflammatory disease, and she got off her meds by eating that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty
and
powerful.
you hear of a lot.
This is back to the minerals back in the water.
Okay.
Someone's requesting to know, there are so many mineral choices. Do you mind recommending any?
Can we brand call out?
Sure.
I don't know. I can just tell you what I use.
Sure. Go ahead.
So I usually use a trace mineral drop in my water. Now I can't see the name of it when I ask
Sure.
if I could give brands out, but it's just comes in a bottle. and you put like 4 or 5 drops in to remineralize 1 glass of water. So really simple, really easy. I typically drink out of like a big, like 32 ounce. So I drink, it depends on the day, but at least 2 of these before I get home for the day. And so I just always remineralize like this whole thing. But yeah, they're just like little drops that are added in.
So Felipe, do we overthink dieting rather than using simple principle?
Yeah, we do as a culture.
Yeah.
I think in the nutrition world, it's so simple. Like it really is. Nutrition in general, it's just such a simple concept. We just insist as a society on overcomplicating it and confusing it. And I really think a lot of that comes down to, because if you're really confused, it's really easy to sell you things. So then all of these companies can just sell you products, because then you get sick and unhealthy, and then they can sell you something for that to
Sure.
lose weight real quick. So
I like this one from Wellington. If you had to pick 3 fruits and 3 vegetables for daily consumption, what would you recommend?
ooh,
I kind of like that one.
yeah, I'll do mine and then you can do yours.
Well, I know broccoli,
Yeah,
and I like spinach.
I was gonna say some kind of leafy green,
Right.
spinach or
Leafy
kale.
greens.
Either one would be fine. Spinach is more versatile, so
I like the blackberries.
yeah.
Or- yeah.
I was gonna say blueberries would
Yeah,
be
blueberries
like a
or
pretty
blackberries.
big powerhouse.
Yeah.
Avocado's a fruit, so I probably would put that in there.
Sure.
Because it's just chock full of nutrients, healthy fats.
I
And
don't know if it's a good apple or not.
apple a day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like almonds too, as far as nuts.
Yeah.
So,
Nutrition
Alright.
ideas for preventing kidney stones from reoccurring. Ooh.
I think we're at the pass on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I don't have any input there.
Best oil for heating, not deep
Ooh,
frying.
that's a good question.
Oh, I wouldn't know that one. That's
Best oil for heating.
but not deep fat frying.
So if you went into my pantry at home, where I keep my oils, the only oils you would find are avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil. I don't have any other oils besides those. I never heat olive oil. If I do heat it, like very low temperature.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It
Why is
actually
that?
can oxidize at like a really high temperature and turn into a not so great oil anymore.
Oh,
so
good Lord, I didn't know that.
yeah, learn something new every day.
Whoa.
So I only heat my avocado oil and my coconut oil.
Gosh, I got to change my habits here. I mean, I was heating up on salmon.
Like you cook your salmon in it
Yeah, it's like brushing some olive oil on
and
it.
then like grill it or bake
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
Put it on after you cook it.
Yes.
put it on after you. cook
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Oh.
olive oil is super great and healthy, but yeah, always after or used for salad dressings
Oh,
or
gosh,
things
glad
that
to hear
don't, it's okay if it gets warm. You just don't want to like
heat
heat
it.
it. Yeah.
Right, and I was heating it.
I was recently
Vitiligo. That's a skin condition.
really go. Okay. I'm a competitive grandmaster runner, mostly vegan, and I do eat Greek yogurt and sometimes eggs, whole foods, no refined carbs or sugar. My dermatologist wants me to eat paleo to reduce inflammation. Based on research, what do you think? I think that's some very great advice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on
Yeah,
that.
paleo is a good diet.
Yeah,
Correct? Yeah. All right. Mike's got one.
Recommendation of any essential supplements.
So somebody wants to know a recommendation of any essential supplements.
Okay. You mean to take this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So depending upon where you live, so we all live in Minnesota or Wisconsin. I think we all need vitamin D when the
Right.
sunshine's not out. So basically from September until about this time of the year, I'm still taking it. I'll take it
Yep.
until I'm getting a good chunk of sunshine in the day. Vitamin D, absolutely. If you are lucky enough to live down south and you're outside every single day, probably don't need it,
No,
but
it
we Midwesterners definitely need vitamin D.
I heard 39% were deficit in,
Yeah.
in vitamin D.
And best way to know is just to get your blood levels tested. It's
Sure.
a simple blood test and supplement accordingly. And then the only other one that I tend to recommend, because I do feel that we are deficient in the human diet, is omega-3s, so fish oil. So the only source of omega-3s that we get in the diet is through eating fish. And first of all, we're not going to do that every day. And we shouldn't do it every day because of potential mercury toxicity. So I don't even recommend that anyways. So just to get enough omega-3s, I recommend a fish, good quality fish oil.
Yeah, it's funny. I dismissed mercury poisoning like, oh, who does that happen to? But then my aunt got it, and it was kind of a star, a movie star, a celebrity that got it.
I've never even heard
too.
of anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I have heard that some olive oil is not good olive oil. How can you tell if you have a good quality olive oil?
So that's from Linda. Thank you, Linda.
That's also a good question, because there's, unfortunately, same with avocado oil, by the way, too. Same conversation. There's not a lot of good regulation there in the food industry, and actually some poor quality olive oils can be kind of laced with some cheaper oils to make them more cost effective.
Right,
so
exactly.
in the olive oil world, I guess you really do get what you pay for. If you're getting, a big bottle for $5, it's probably not a good quality olive oil. That's not a great answer, but you definitely need to do some research on it, and without calling out specific brands.
Funny to hear.
So somebody, Marcel, guys, is the cheese good in your towns? So he obviously knows we're from the Midwest. Jordan's from Wisconsin. I'm from Minnesota. I lived right by, it was not Velveeta, but it was Bungard's cheese. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but
No.
it was a plant that made Bungard's cheese. Big shout out. So somebody asked about chia seeds and also flax seeds.
Okay, what about them? Are they good?
Yeah, I talked about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Chock full of really good nutrients, and
Aren't you supposed to have flax seeds ground though?
yeah, your body can't absorb a whole flaxseed. And the best way we can do it is actually not buying them. If you're going to get real picky here, depending upon how picky you want to get, the best way, what you can do with flax seeds is buy them whole and grind them
That's
fresh
what I
every time
heard.
you want to eat them, because the nutrients are lost as soon as you grind them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so to get the most out of a flaxseed, for all of you health nuts out there, you want to buy them whole and then grind them fresh every time you want to eat them.
Well, I don't know if this was a coincidence, but my wife's blood pressure dropped 10 points. And it seemed like that was the only change she made, was she had changed.
It's pretty
used
powerful.
flaxseed. It is powerful. And
Really good for women's health. I know some people are asking about kind of women's hormonal things too, with the PCOS conversation. That's
Right.
something, definitely look that up. There's some really good, powerful research on flax seeds and some other seeds too for women's health.
I tried the chia seeds. They kind of would make me feel bloated.
Really?
Yeah, they
Huh.
kind of expand in your stomach,
Okay.
with what I was eating.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had that.
Um,
Sesame seed oil.
okay. Organic.
Okay.
I don't have a huge issue
This is
with
from
it.
Donna. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah. I think in small amounts, as long as it's not like the main source of oil in your diet, but for some specialty recipes. I actually have used that before in like Asian type cooking cuisine. I don't know what your take is on it, but I think it's fine.
I don't have a take on it. I was the one using olive oil.
Yeah,
and heating it
we
up,
can't
so
ask you about oil
Yeah.
anymore. No,
I'm not
I
an
think it's
oil
fine.
expert.
I think it's fine.
So
Is there any help, or is there anything to help lose menopausal weight gain? Ooh, I feel like that's a loaded topic. I don't know to touch on. I mean, simply any kind of topic within the whole weight loss category or weight gain category, for that matter, would be my same answer that I've been giving.
Yep. A lifestyle change.
Cervical diet.
Yeah, no, so too.
Someone asked about the carnivore diet.
Oh, that's an interesting.
You want to answer?
carnivore diet?
Yeah. So
I
somebody
can
asked
touch
about
on
the
it.
carnivore diet.
I mean, I think it's incredibly impractical in today's society. I think so. The carnivore diet, for those of you guys who don't know what that is, like the human body, believe it or not, can survive solely on meats and organ meats, basically eating nose to tail of the entire animal. So the issue with it is I don't
Being
know
able to sustain it.
who can do that. I
Right.
think it's possible to be very healthy with good quality. I don't know who could do that forever.
Right.
I certainly couldn't. So
Jordan Peterson's doing it right now.
Yeah, a lot of people that are.
Jordan
there's-
Peterson, basically a celebrity of sorts.
great for people who can. That
Yeah.
just wouldn't be for me.
He
but
he at first was doing carnivore and just green leafy vegetables, and he found out he did better on carnivore, and he's motivated because he feels so much better on it. He was getting depressed when he was on any other diet. So
Mhm. Yeah,
well,
if it works, it works, right?
Yeah, it works, right?
Yep. Alan from Scotland. Best food for stomach problems caused by anxiety.
I'm going to jump in on this
You
one.
can have
So my daughter was having trouble with this, and she went on the FODMAP diet because, again, and Mike's been on it. It will give you a sense if you're having trouble with certain foods, they can cause bloating and it makes you feel anxious. And so you look up FODMAP, FODMAP, and it'll tell you the foods that you need to avoid for a while, and then you slowly introduce those foods and see which ones you can tolerate. So she had great luck with it. So it really, and so did Mike, and so did I. So I mean, it's something I'd really consider. Mike?
Someone's just asking about protein. How much protein is she getting a day?
Biggest differences in organic versus non-organic foods. That's a loaded question too. There's a lot of things.
Biggest difference. I guess I don't know what's meant by biggest difference. I think that if you can afford it, it's worthwhile.
Right. Exactly. That's a good point. Someone put FODMAP. Yep.
Any recommendations for getting off the weight loss dieting roller coaster?
You want to take that one? Any recommendations for getting off the weight loss diet roller coaster?
Well, if you,
I think you gotta stop looking at food like it's gonna be you're gonna be on a diet. You just gotta say what can I do for the rest of my life?
right,
And
and
can tolerate.
yeah, and I think too, one important piece of that too is learning the why too. So here we are telling you, good foods to eat, foods to avoid, but understanding what these foods to avoid that we're telling you, what they do in your body, and really having that knowledge of like fueling your body with these good quality foods and how the body works a little bit more. So I think it's really important to educate yourself a little bit on that because I think it provides a motivation. I think the best thing you can do is stop counting things too. Any diet out there that requires you to count a bunch of stuff and calculate, and just stop, because that's when we can become obsessive and it causes stress and all that. So I think the best recommendation is
And hard to maintain. Then,
Yeah.
too. So
Yep.
I want to ask this question too, because I don't know anything about it. Is kombucha good?
Yeah. I actually brew kombucha at home.
Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah. So I
So
know a
what
whole
is
lot about
I
kombucha.
don't I see it mentioned. I just haven't read anything on it.
We could do like a tutorial video
we
on
should.
that sometime.
Can you
Yeah.
just give a brief summary of what it is and what it's supposed to do? Or
Sure. Yep. So it's a fermented tea. So it has probiotics in it. So it's really good for gut health. So like at home when I brew it, and I'm sure this is how it's brewed, but on a larger scale, it has like a little starter, and then what it does is it sits there for several weeks and it ferments the sugar out of it. So you put sugar and then a good just like green tea or black tea. And so it's fermenting the sugar and producing good bacteria, so probiotics for gut health, and then you drink it.
So it tastes horrible?
No, it's
It
good.
tastes good?
You like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get flavors too.
See, I get the flavor.
Yeah,
So
no, I don't drink it plain.
You can
I
sell
flavor
it.
mine
I mean, you can buy it over the counter. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Get
can
it
buy it.
anywhere.
Quick-
Yeah.
Quick Trip. Okay.
Yeah, like a good,
Health
good
food
ginger
stores,
one.
grocery stores. Yeah. Do you buy the GT's brand? GTS. That's
Maybe.
one of my favorite brands.
I'm gonna
but
see.
You just grab it, but yeah, no, super good for gut health.
Well, I think
Probiotics.
I'm gonna try that now.
Yeah, you should.
Do anyone know what endometriosis is?
That's a fertility disorder,
Yeah,
endometriosis.
Diet for that?
That I'm not. I mean, I know I'm familiar with endometriosis, but I'm not familiar with a diet for it.
I think it
unfortunately.
still would be the keto diet on that, according to Dr. Westman.
Yeah.
Um,
I know endometriosis is very it's misunderstood. There's not a lot of knowledge about causes and everything, but
Sure.
I think we can recommend the same things. Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
talking about for that.
So Mary Ann Henderson, what's the one food we should eat every day?
Ooh.
Everyone's answer is going to be different.
Right.
Yeah.
if oh man,
I don't think you can go wrong with like one of the green vegetables.
sure.
Would you? Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think if you had broccoli every day, that'd be a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of foods that could fit into this.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah. All right. There we go. That's a good question.
ooh. Oh. As someone who's interested in a nutrition/diet career, would you recommend it?
It's Wellington. Thank you for the question.
I mean, I'm pretty happy,
This
but it's a hard career. So I went the non-dietetics route, so I'm not a registered dietitian. A lot of the beliefs within the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, I just don't tend to align with. So I didn't feel it was a good match for me. So if a lot of what we're talking to whoever this guy was that asked the question, Wellington, if you're kind of tend to agree with what we're saying in your nutritional beliefs, you might have a hard time going on to be like an actual registered dietitian. And taking an alternative route can be tough to find a job and work in, but the opportunities definitely are expanding, I would say, in the nutrition.
And you can use it for your personal life too.
For
That's
sure. Can you do keto with?
You know, asked me. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
We're
Yeah.
stumped on that one. Sorry. Let's see. What diet is best for living a long and healthy life?
Moderation
or
between
meat-based?
both. Combine them both together.
Talk about plant or meat based.
Yeah, I think majority of your diet coming from plants and having a good
Definitely
source of
exercise,
yeah.
staying connected with people. I mean,
Sleeping.
absolutely huge. And then of course, yeah, a good diet would. I think you could go either way. You said plant or meat based.
Yeah.
I mean, or both, of course.
Carol Herzog wants to know: can you do keto without a gallbladder?
Oh,
People have, I know, but I don't know.
Mike's saying people have, but
that one I would definitely
Yeah,
not do
no,
without checking
yeah,
with your doctor
exactly.
first. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you have any recommendations of foods that help with sleeping better at night. I mean, I wouldn't eat food right before to go to bed. That's for sure.
Right, because that can, if you're eating like right before you go to bed, it can interfere with the digestion process. I would say too, trying to avoid if you are going to have like a snack before an hour or two before you go to bed, trying to avoid a protein-rich snack because protein takes a little bit longer for your body to break down.
Sure.
So, like a piece, small serving of like berries and a small little handful of nuts is not a terrible idea if you're hungry before bed. Because nuts are going to be, good healthy fat. There's some protein, but not a ton. I'm just saying don't eat, a big steak and then go to bed.
Yeah, and you gotta watch the alcohol because people think alcohol helps you sleep, and a lot of times it does, but you don't sleep a good quality sleep, and it could be causing you a restless night. So it might put you to sleep, but you won't stay asleep well. So.
Does more protein cause breakdown of calcium?
I don't think so.
He's asking that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are deli meats and pepperoni sticks healthy? Come on, guys. You know the answer to that, right? They're not healthy. No.
Someone asked their 5 to 6% body fat, is that healthy or okay?
Is it a male or a female? If it's a female, absolutely not.
No, it's a male.
It's a male.
Okay, give the question again.
Right now, I'm about 5 to 6% body fat. Is that healthy or okay?
So the question is, a male is 5 to 6% body fat. Is that healthy?
For a professional athlete, that's going to be probably pretty spot on. I don't know.
Sure.
Female,
It would be way too low.
Way too low.
Yeah.
I think low body fat is more of a conversation, the negative effects of it more in the female population. I think I would say that's okay.
Right. I would too.
So this is a continuation of a question that was asked earlier about like eating before bed, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Julia Wagner Lee asks, does the body stop digestive processes at night? What changes at bedtime?
So the question is, does the body stop digestive processes at night? Not at
No.
all. Not at all.
No.
Of course, they keep going, and I think you want to get to the point though also where you don't get hungry at night. Correct? I've heard that like if you're diabetic, that you actually could be awakened because you're actually hungry too. Your
Right.
sugar levels are low.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I have a friend who's got one of those monitors,
Mhm.
and it'll go off in the middle of the night. He has to eat something because his sugar levels have gone
Ah.
too low. So, what's the difference between diet plans for athletes and non-athletic population? This is Dr. Shersha Meshram.
I don't think the types of foods to be eaten are any different at all, whether you're an athlete or a non-athlete. What the human needs, the human needs. But I think it's just going to come down to quantity.
Sure.
How much they need to eat. Obviously, if you're an athlete, you're going to need to eat more food to sustain that lifestyle. So,
Would you, as an athlete, eat more carbs or not? Not
I
necessarily.
don't necessarily buy into that too
Sure.
much. I used to be a distance runner, and I used to buy into that whole carb
Right.
loading thing.
Exactly.
I wouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a
I thought
distance
the
running,
same thing.
no, I don't
Yeah.
buy it.
Thoughts on maca root or ginseng?
Any thoughts?
I know
The
ab-
question is on maca root or ginseng.
Yeah, I know those are used like as supplements. I know of them, but I don't have a lot of, I guess, take on them.
Sure.
Not a whole lot of comment.
Thoughts on multivitamins?
Thoughts on multivitamins?
So, multivitamins.
That's a good question. I want to know the answer to this too.
Yeah, I'll just be very blunt. There's a lot of bad multivitamins on the market.
Really?
Oh yeah. So my big issue with multivitamins, I think they can be good if you're once again choosing a good quality multivitamin. Many multivitamins on the market are made with synthetic vitamins and minerals. So basically, factory made fake vitamins and minerals that your body really doesn't know what to even do with them because it's not the kind that are naturally occurring in foods. So I don't recommend your traditional. Go to Walmart and buy your men's one a day or women's one a day multivitamin. But if you are going to get a quality whole foods sourced multivitamin, I think it can be good
So
to fill in
is
those
that
gaps
how-
in the diet.
Is that how you would look for it? Is look for a whole food source of daily vitamin? And
Yeah.
that's the wording you want to look for?
Right. And it would actually show on the, like if you look at the nutrition panel where the vitamins and minerals are listed, and a good quality one sourced from Whole Foods, it would actually in parentheses show you what food source it's coming from.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I again learned something. My wife's taking one, and I'm sure she's taking one from Walmart. So, can you be sensitive to gluten and not have celiac?
Yes.
I would guess yes.
Yeah. I
So
think most of us
metal-
are sensitive to gluten.
Yeah.
Yeah, because celiac's pretty extreme, but
Yeah, it is.
I think probably the great majority of people are probably gluten sensitive and may or may not even realize it.
And you could also be sensitive to fructans, which are kind of a subset of that, right, Mike?
I don't know.
He doesn't remember, but so absolutely very common.
So, what do you feel about frozen food when organic is not available?
Frozen fruit, or is that what it said? Frozen's great. I think it kind of gets a bad rap sometimes. We think fresh, but actually, frozen fruits and vegetables actually, to some degree, retain their nutrients better than fresh because they're frozen right after they're picked or soon after. So I think when the fresh isn't available to you, I usually buy fresh just because I prefer the taste,
Right.
but not because it's better than frozen. It's just my preference. But I think I always keep frozen fruit in the freezer just for.
I had read the
smoothies
same,
and-
and
yeah,
for me, it's just the hassle to unthawing it, and Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I usually just eat it frozen.
Right.
So.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, like frozen blueberries? Yeah.
Oh,
Most
I can
nights.
see that.
Yeah.
I can
Pretty
see
good.
that.
Any thoughts on green powders?
Greens powder.
The question is, any thoughts on greens powder?
Green powder, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
don't know
like,
what
just
those are.
like
It's kind of like
Take-
a vitamin.
yeah. So just like taking companies will take like a bunch of fruits and vegetables and dehydrate them and then make it into like a concentrated powder that you can just put a scoop in water or whatever and drink it. Yeah. I mean, I think I have no issue with them recommending them.
sure.
Simple answer. I drank them myself and yeah.
Best nutrition bar for meal replacement?
So the question is the best nutrition bar for meal replacement. Is there such a one?
Not for a meal replacement.
Sure.
I mean, I think
Are there
there's-
good nutrition bars out there now?
Yeah.
I mean, ones that
Yeah.
are pretty healthy.
Yeah, I would say there are. Yeah, no, there are some. I would say the great majority are garbage and should be left on
Sure.
the shelf. But
They're almost like a candy bar.
yeah, no, there's a handful that I will eat in a pinch.
Sure. Michael,
Repeat here.
a lot of repeats.
We got about 5 minutes left.
Sure.
Someone asked, what about nitric oxide?
It's like a pre-workout thing.
Oh, that kind of comes from like
I
beets,
think
like
it's a
beetroot.
vasodilator.
Yeah, vasodilator. What about it?
I saw
Yeah.
Any thoughts
I-
on it?
What about that?
Pass. I got a good question here. Do you have any favorite diet books that you like? Any favorite
Ooh.
books on nutrition? Like if you had
Yeah.
to pick a top one,
Oh, I'm really not. Yeah, I do, but I'm not great at thinking on the spot.
like the names are.
There's a
right?
really good one that I like by Mark Sisson, Primal Blueprint. That's what it is.
Sure.
I love that book. Have you read that?
No,
Do you know
I
anything
don't-
about it? Anybody?
I don't think
do.
I have.
I've read it.
Do you like it?
Mike read
Would
it.
you recommend it?
Yeah, it's decent. I like Mark Sisson. It's a little confusing
Mark
whether it was
Sisson.
paleo or keto, but
I thought it was just a good overall, like, gives the nuts and bolts of why. I liked it.
You guys can put in the comments below your favorite book on diet and nutrition, and we can take a look at them and see what we think about them, if we've read them or not.
Yeah.
So,
I think if you're curious about I kind of shocked you with talking about the gluten thing and avoiding grains, Wheat Belly is a great book to talk about the ill effects of gluten for most people.
diabetic diet. Any thoughts?
diabetic diet. Any thoughts? I see that right. Came up by Cliff.
I feel like
It's the same, yeah.
same conversation.
It-
I
it
think
really
the
is.
best way that you can monitor your and control your glucose levels is through just a healthy whole foods diet, avoiding processed grains and sugars. Once again,
They're putting their books down.
Oh, are they putting the books out?
Yeah,
So,
carnivore diet.
There's a continuation of the nitric oxide thing. They're wondering, does it really work for your arteries?
We're not familiar
Yeah.
with the nitric acid. The carnivore diet. You've read that one, Mike, right?
I've read that one too.
What are your thoughts?
It's good. It's good, but
That's a lot of.
it'll overwhelm you.
How about Lies by Dr.
Lies my doctor told me. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I've not read it though.
That's Ken Berry, I think.
That's Ken Berry?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, it is.
I think.
Old School Body for Life by Bill Phillips. I haven't heard of that
No, I
one.
haven't either.
Branched chain amino acids. Anything? Commenting?
On amino acids?
I guess what's the
BCAA.
question?
I'm guessing they're asking if they're good or not. They just wrote BCAA question mark. Get a lot of repeats. It was just
Primal
Yes.
Blueprint. That's one you guys mentioned?
Yep, that's the one I.
Okay.
Yep, I love
So-
that book.
All right. Why don't we take a couple more questions?
Any diet recommendations for hair loss?
B vitamins,
Well, they're saying, can hair loss be due to a dietary deficiency? I'm sure it can be, correct?
potentially. Yeah, I would say B vitamins.
Hairdressing
Sure.
sounds
Would be-
like protein.
Vegan sources
Collagen.
of serotonin boosting foods.
I can't think off the top of my head on that one.
No. I think serotonin is hard to boost through foods, isn't it? I believe. Yeah. A lot of people are asking for best diet for weight loss, and we've already talked about
Yeah.
that.
Rewind the video.
Yeah, yeah, rewind the video. How important is B12? Any thoughts?
Very important. I think meat eaters don't need to worry about it,
Right.
especially if you eat red meat.
That's what I was gonna say.
But if you don't eat any red meat in your diet, yeah, it's pretty important to make sure you're getting enough of and potentially needing to supplement that.
Yeah, if you're on a vegan diet, I remember reading that B12 was the one thing you better get
You have
because it
to
can be
supplement.
disastrous
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't
So
have
any
it.
vegans out there,
Yeah,
you got to supplement that.
right.
Someone's asking about or talking about Ezekiel bread. Do you have any opinions on Ezekiel bread?
Ezekiel bread, so that's the sprouted grain bread.
I'm
I'm not typically a big proponent of really any kind of wheat for the most part, but I think if you're going to have bread and you're not going to avoid gluten, I think having a sprouted grain bread like Ezekiel bread is definitely a better choice.
Is it important to have protein after exercise? And if so, how soon?
It's a good question. Is
I
it
just
important
saw
to
it
have
on-
protein after exercise?
According to Dr. Kelly Starrett, I
Okay.
just read this. So he said after exercise, one thing it's very important to drink water right away. He
Yeah.
said this is for muscle recovery, and yes, you should try to eat something that's within the hour if you can.
Right. I don't think the whole, I know there's been at least in the like athletic world, or because I used to be a personal trainer in that world too, like you got to hit that like 20-minute protein window. I don't buy that at all. But I think, having a meal in a reasonable amount of time after a workout to replenish. Otherwise, if you don't have the protein in your body's going to get it from somewhere to replenish, and it's going to break down your muscles. So,
Is there a bread without wheat?
yep, gluten-free bread.
Gluten-free bread?
Mm-hmm.
What are your
Sourdough?
thoughts on juice cleanses?
I'm not a big fan of juice cleanses. No,
Yeah, I don't know anything about them. So
I'm not a fan of cleanses in general. That can be a heavy topic though. So
what's that? Oh, okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we appreciated the questions and the comments, and we hope to do this again. She does a great job. Jordan, thank you for joining us.
Yes,
and
thank you.
We'll see you all soon.
I hit end stream 3 times.